Solo travel. The words themselves evoke excitement, anxiety, and a sense of adventure, right? A whirlwind of emotions before you even step out the door. Well, that's exactly how I felt before embarking on my solo journey across India, Malaysia, and Thailand. As a Bangladeshi, these countries held a certain familiarity, a sense of shared culture, but nothing could have prepared me for the sheer diversity and richness of experiences that awaited. Picture this: vibrant markets, ancient temples, pristine beaches, and the warmest smiles from strangers. So join me as I take you through my solo escapades, sharing the life lessons I learned, the hilarious mishaps along the way, and some practical tips that might just inspire you to pack your bags and set off on your own adventure. Imagine strolling through a bustling night market in Bangkok, the air thick with the aroma of spices and sizzling street food. I was browsing through souvenirs, trying to haggle in my broken Thai, when suddenly I hear Kimon Akan, "Bye. How are you, brother?" I turn around completely bewildered to find a Thai street vendor grinning at me, speaking fluent Bengali. Turns out his brother-in-law was from Bangladesh, and he had picked up the language. We ended up having a long chat, sharing stories about our cultures and lives, all while enjoying some delicious pad thai. That experience right there taught me a profound lesson. The world is much smaller than we think. Language barriers melt away when you connect with someone on a human level. It made me realize that no matter where you go, there's always a common thread that binds us, a shared humanity that transcends borders and cultures. So don't be afraid to strike up conversations with locals, even if you don't share a common language. You never know what amazing connections you might make and what you might learn about the world and yourself along the way. Now, I'm a bit of a planner. I like having an itinerary. But solo travel taught me the beauty of embracing the unexpected. Like that time I missed my train in Jammu, India. I was distraught, picturing my entire schedule crumbling. But then a fellow traveler, a kind old gentleman, saw my predicament and offered help. He not only guided me to the right platform for the next train, but also shared his life story, his chai, and some of the most delicious homemade samosas I've ever tasted. Another time in Thailand, I got caught in a massive monsoon downpour. I was soaked to the bone, but instead of panicking, I decided to enjoy the moment. I found shelter in a local restaurant, and as I sat there, sipping hot ginger tea and watching the rain lash down, I felt an incredible sense of peace wash over me. It was a reminder that sometimes the best experiences are the unplanned ones. So, go ahead and plan your trip, but leave room for spontaneity. Don't be afraid to deviate from your itinerary, to get lost in a new city, to embrace the unexpected detours. You never know what hidden gems you might discover along the way. One of the greatest joys of solo travel, especially for a foodie like me, is the freedom to eat whatever, whenever, and wherever you want. And trust me, India and Thailand are a culinary paradise, especially if you're adventurous enough to ditch the fancy restaurants and dive into the world of street food. Imagine this: the aroma of freshly made naan bread wafting through the air as you navigate the labyrinthine alleys of Old Delhi, each bite a burst of flavor. Or the spicy, tangy explosion of pad thai, cooked right in front of you on a street cart in Bangkok. But it's not just about the food, it's about the experience. It's about pulling up a plastic stool alongside locals, sharing smiles and stories, even if you don't speak the same language. It's about savoring the authenticity of flavors, the freshness of ingredients, and the sheer joy of discovering hidden culinary gems. So don't be shy, my friends. Be bold, be adventurous, and most importantly, come hungry. Ask the locals for recommendations, try something new, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You won't regret it. Chapter 4. You'll face your fears head on. Solo travel is like a crash course in facing your fears. I'm talking about those moments that push you out of your comfort zone, that make your heart race, but ultimately leave you feeling exhilarated and empowered. Take, for instance, my snorkeling adventure in Thailand. Now, I'm not the strongest swimmer, and I had a mild fear of fish. Yes, I know, ironic. But I was determined to experience the underwater world. So, with a mix of trepidation and excitement, I took the plunge. And you know what? It was incredible. The fear melted away as I found myself surrounded by colorful coral reefs and schools of fish swimming around me. It was like entering a different universe, and it taught me that sometimes the most rewarding experiences lie just beyond our comfort zones. Then there was my first sauna experience in Pattaya. Now, I'm a Bangladeshi boy. We're not exactly known for our love of extreme heat, but I decided to give it a go. Let me tell you, those first few minutes were intense, but I stuck it out. And you know what? I felt amazing afterward, refreshed and rejuvenated. Chapter 5. Solo travel will turn you into a social butterfly. You might think solo travel is a lonely endeavor, but let me tell you, it's quite the opposite. It throws you into situations where you have no choice but to interact with strangers, to strike up conversations, to make new friends. I remember this one time, on a late-night train journey in India. I found myself sharing a compartment with a group of college students. We spent the entire night chatting, laughing, sharing stories and snacks. They even taught me a few Hindi phrases. Another time, while visiting a temple in Chiang Rai, Thailand, I got chatting with a monk. We talked about life, philosophy, and everything in between. He even gave me a blessing. These chance encounters, these fleeting moments of connection, are what makes solo travel so special. You learn to be more open, more approachable, more willing to connect with people from all walks of life. You realize that the world is full of kind, interesting souls, just waiting to share their stories and experiences with you. Chapter 6. Solo travel is about discovering yourself. Beyond the adventures, the mishaps, and the new friendships, solo travel is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. It's about stripping away the layers, the expectations, the noise of everyday life, and connecting with your inner self. I remember standing in front of the Taj Mahal, awestruck by its beauty, and feeling this overwhelming sense of peace wash over me. It was a moment of pure presence, of being fully immersed in the experience, without distractions. Or those mornings I spent meditating on a serene beach in Phuket, listening to the waves crashing against the shore, feeling the warm sand beneath my feet. It was in those moments of solitude that I truly connected with myself, my thoughts, my dreams, my fears. Solo travel pushes you to be more independent, more resourceful, more adaptable. You learn to rely on yourself, to trust your instincts, to navigate unfamiliar situations. You discover strengths you never knew you had, and you learn to embrace your vulnerabilities. So if you're thinking about traveling solo, my advice, do it. Go. The world is waiting for you, full of incredible experiences just waiting to be discovered. Don't let fear hold you back. Embrace the unknown, be open to new possibilities, and trust me, you'll return home a changed person. You might even surprise yourself by speaking fluent Thai or finding a Thai street vendor who speaks perfect Bengali too. But hey, if you ever find yourself in a pickle, remember, Rashid Rahman is here to support you too. Ha ha ha. Seriously though, get out there and explore. The world is your oyster.